Hey! Did I really just start this live going, how sad is this? I just had vitamins, gummy vitamins, and I considered that a snack. I'm really hungry today. Okay, so anyway, hey, Houseguest, welcome to today's Big Brother 22 updates and spoilers. What's going on tonight? I know it's a little bit later tonight than usual, but, you know, things are popping off. Things are going on in the house. I feel like right now, this is like, I wouldn't even call it the calm before the storm because it's getting a little wild in there. I feel like things are going to explode next week. Maybe even like later this week. It's getting really crazy in here. Finally, right? We had to wait a month for it to happen, but it's finally coming. So yes, our house guests of the day. We've got Mary Patricia Dorsey and Lena Shaputnik. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. You're awesome. And I also want to thank our super chatters. So I see we already have some super chatters for today. So I'm sorry, my hair is like really annoying. I didn't get to condition it today, but it is what it is. So I want to thank today's super chatters already. Sydney, is it Valine? And Anita Starr. Thank you both so much. You're awesome. We've also got, oh my God, Brant Phillips. We've got Jared Harper. Thank you. And yesterday's super chatters, let's see. We got Richard Welch, Nancy Cowden, Tatum Miller, Kay Moore, Brant Phillips, Jefferson Tucker, and Catherine Tweet. Thank you all so much. Bowie.
Hello. Could you just turn down the gain ever so much? Because it's like staticky.
Hold on. Hold on, guys. Really technical in here. Which way is down?
Counterclockwise. Just very slightly.
How's that? Are we good, you guys? Good to go?
I guess.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Just trying to enhance everyone's listening pleasure. Okay, listening experience. So, let's get started. Okay. No, it's not. It's still not good. Are we good or no? I don't want to like get going until I know that we're good. Is it okay? Okay, it's good. It's good. Okay, so let's get going. When we left off yesterday, Enzo was doing all of his one-on-one chats, and we know that he's planning on putting up Kaysar and Kevin up on the block. Kaysar, of course, is the target, and if he wins the power veto, Enzo is thinking about putting up Ian. He said, I'm going to make a big move. That's it. So if Kevin comes off the block, at first, Enzo was saying that David would probably be the replacement nominee, and Kaysar would still be the target. But now he's starting to think, maybe I'm not going to put up David at all. Maybe I'm going to keep that team freeze thing solid, which is that guys alliance with like Enzo, Tyler, and David. And I'll put up somebody else. Maybe I'll just put up Ian no matter who comes off. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, we've got a long way to go before we get to the power veto, which didn't even happen yet. So Day and Bailey were talking in the kitchen, and they are on to Danny. We're talking rogue votes here. So Bailey says, I had a conversation with Danny before the vote, and she told me that she felt like she was going to get the brunt of like any blowback from Janelle getting evicted because Janelle would take it personally because they're friends outside of the house. I don't know that they're going to be friends after this anymore because it looks like Janelle's pissed at her. And I mean, like, I would be. Danny talked a lot of shit about Janelle. But anyway, Bailey's like, yeah, so maybe she was feeling guilty and she threw her a vote. And then after the vote, Danny went to Bailey and was like, oh, you know, if you voted to keep Janelle, don't worry about it. Like, it's okay. I'm not mad. Yeah, you're not mad because you freaking did it. Okay, she might think that Bailey is the other one. Nobody seems to suspect Enzo, which is hilarious because this is the second time that he's done this now. So Day and Bailey are pretty sure that Danny was one of the rogue votes, and they are correct. Okay, so moving on. They're glad that Enzo won the HOH this week. They're working with him. They feel really safe with him. I mean, Bailey should feel pretty safe with him, but Day, he is not happy with Day. So Day shares that Enzo is planning on putting up Kevin as the pawn next to Kaysar. And Bailey's like, shit. She said that's going to be a meltdown. Kevin's going to be caught off guard. Yeah, he's not going to be happy about that. So then they move to the lounge and they're talking about how they're kind of surprised that David is not going to be the pawn this week next to Kaysar after all the shit that he did last week. Also, Day does not feel good about her like standing with David, and she's aligned with Enzo. Enzo's the HOH. Why is Enzo not looking out for her? So she's like kind of weirded out by that. So she's wondering, does Enzo have some sort of side deal going on with David? Yeah, it's called Team Freeze. But also Enzo was talking about how he wants to keep David around as a shield because other people are going to want to target him. He's like, why am I going to take out somebody that other people will want to go after instead of me? So yeah, they're annoyed at this point that David is going around saying that he was betrayed when he's the one who got caught being shady and in a lie. But they also don't realize that Cody and Tyler really were being shady and threw Day under the bus to David on purpose. Okay, so Day says to Bailey, she wants the two of them to make the final two. Of course. I'd be cool with that too. And she knows that the two of them would take each other there from the final three. But if they go to the final three with Tyler, like they're kind of planning right now, Day says, I know that Tyler is more likely to take you to the final two than me. And she says, like, I'd be happy for you, but maybe we can find somebody else to go to the final three with who we could beat, and then we could take each other. So Day says she wants to start really working on Enzo. He's not going to be happy about that because he's not in a good place with Day right now. So he says, I'm sorry. So Day says Tyler and Enzo can take each other out towards the end. I don't know how that's supposed to work because one of them could take the other out, but then somebody else is going to have to take out the one that's still left, but whatever. So they can take each other out towards the end. So they're thinking of a final five with themselves, Enzo, Tyler, and then Bailey's like, why am I getting so mixed up here? Day is saying, it's been a long freaking day. So Day is like, who is a neutral person that we can have in the final five with us who we can beat in the final competitions? And Bailey says, we don't have one of those. We don't have a neutral person that we could potentially beat. So we're going to have to figure that out. Also, I don't think Day realizes that Bailey is way tighter with Enzo than she is. So if they go to the end with Enzo and Tyler, that's going to be two people who would probably pick Bailey over Davon. But also, it's great that they're thinking endgame right now, but also you got some danger coming up soon that you need to look out for, as in next week potentially. So I feel like they have bigger concerns right now that they're not realizing. Okay, so then they're also acknowledging Cody is always going to choose Nicole, Danny, and Enzo over them. That is correct. They've also noticed that Danny's been getting really snappy with people, especially now that she's on Slap. And it's getting on people's nerves. Okay, we're going to talk about that later. So then they were also discussing who they feel they cannot put up if one of them wins HOH. So neither of them want to put up Ian. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is on that exactly, but they also, neither of them want to put up Memphis because they both made deals with him when he was HOH. He was all, I'll keep you safe if you promise to keep me safe. Bowie. Day says that she wouldn't want to put up Nicole or Kevin. Obviously, she's close to Kevin. She's working on her relationship with Nicole, and she doesn't want to open that back up, open up that wound again. And Bailey is saying she doesn't want to put up Christmas because she's got a good thing going with her. Now, all these I don't want to put them ups are going to go out the window if it's an emergency situation where they have to put one of them up. If that's the case, they'll do it, but otherwise they don't want to. However, they are cool with taking people out for each other. So Bailey would take out Nicole for Day, and Day would take out Christmas for Bailey. Sounds good. Okay. So later, Day is in the have-not room with Danny. They're both have-nots this week. And Day is like searching for some sort of secret power. Is this Big Brother Canada? She says there's got to be something in here, you know? So she's like opening up all these little tiny drawers. And I got to say, even if there was going to be some sort of power or something in there, I don't think it would just show up with no warning. Like, not like it happens on Survivor with the hidden immunity idols. I feel like Big Brother would be like, there's a twist. Like, there's a secret power in the house, so start looking for it. They're not just going to, like, put it in there and risk no one finding it. So, I mean, it's a good thought, but the chances are very slim. Also, why is she doing this with Danny in the room? You cannot trust Danny. Okay, so they talk a little game. They BS each other for a little bit. They're supposed to be in this like 6 alliance together, but they're both acting like they don't know who Enzo's going to put up. And they do know who Enzo is planning on putting up, Kaysar and Kevin. But they're both like, yeah, I figure like Kaysar's going to go up, but I don't know who's going to go up next to him, like who's going to be the pawn. So Day starts saying she feels like David should be the pawn. He should be going up next to Kaysar because of all the stuff that happened last week. She's not in a good place with him, and she feels a little weird that Enzo knows this and isn't like saying, yes, David should be the one to go up. And Danny agrees. She's like, yeah, that's, you know, I think that David should be going up too. Okay, keep that in your back pocket for later. Then Christmas joins them to chat for a bit, blah, 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 nothing really important. After she leaves, Danny asks Day, what do you think of her? So Day says she's not really sure. She was going to ask Danny the same question. So Danny says, well, I'm going to be scared of Christmas in a few weeks because she's going to kick our butts in all of the competitions. Day says, yeah, I've been trying to feel her out, but she keeps her cards really close. They agree that Christmas is a guy's girl. She's close to a lot of people, but they notice she's really good with a lot of the guys. And Danny says, yeah, but she's also really tight with Nicole too. So Day is like, okay, a few minutes pass, whatever. They're talking about other things. And then Day asks, so why'd you give that vote to Janelle, Danny? So she was like kind of joking, but also kind of serious here. She is really suspecting it was Danny, and it was. But Danny's like, oh my God, stop it. She says she genuinely felt bad that she had to vote out Janelle. So she didn't. But she told Bailey right before that she felt like a piece of trash. So Danny says that she feels like the only people that make sense to have done those votes are David, because I guess he reacted in a really weird way when somebody asked if he did it, and Memphis, because Janelle kept saying that Memphis was like a lock vote. Danny's been telling everybody else that she thinks it's Day and Bay, but she's not going to say that to Davon's face. So then they speculate a little bit about who could be, blah, blah, blah. Moving on. A little later, Danny is doing some gardening, aka planting some seeds. So she was talking to Cody and Enzo on the Sky Bridge. She tells Enzo, hey, guess what? Davon is mad at you because she thinks that David should be going up as the pawn this week. Whoa! I wouldn't say she's mad at Enzo. There you go, planting seeds. But it's funny because this is what Danny wants to see happen too. But she's putting it all on Day. So Enzo's like, tell her to win something. F you, I'm not getting my hands dirty. Okay, so Danny says, yeah, she's like really mad at you. Okay, so Cody says that Day is trying to get David on the block. And then the next thing you know, Day would be trying to evict David over Kaysar. So like, they're not going to let that happen. So Danny says, you know, Davon was saying that David is coming after her, and for Enzo to not care, it just shows that he's out for himself. She's really selling her out like this. So Enzo says, win shit, that's it. For someone who doesn't win nothing, she's very effing bossy. So then we've been hearing this over and over from Enzo. Like, he's saying it over and over again ever since he won HOH. So Danny then starts making fun of Day for looking for a power in the have-not room. She's making fun of Bailey for wearing Janelle's denim jacket because Janelle left some clothes behind for her to wear. What about when Danny wore the same exact dress as Janelle back-to-back years for the finale? Okay, anyway, the feeds go down for the nomination ceremony, and as expected, Enzo nominated Kaysar and Kevin for eviction. Okay, so when the feeds came back, Enzo and Kevin are in the have-not room, and Enzo's like, I'm sorry you're up there, but I gotta nominate 2 people. He said, you're safe, trust me, even if Kaysar wins the power veto, you're safe, you have my word on that. So Kevin's like, I trust you. Of course, Kevin is so like sad, and I've heard a lot of people compare him to like Eeyore. Oh, so yeah, he's in like Eeyore mode, of course. And Enzo says, I hate to say pawn, but that's what it is. Like, and this is a one-time thing. I will not put you up again. And he tells Kevin, you might be the floater that gets to the end. That might be your game this year. Great. Okay. So Kevin asks, okay, well, have people been throwing me under the bus? Like, do you think I'm good? And Enzo says, no, trust me, you're safe. Like, you're gonna be fine. So Kevin says he was shocked by the nomination, but they're still allies. And if he wins HOH, he will not put Enzo up on the block. Because Kevin never focuses on putting up the people that nominate him. Anyway, meanwhile, Kaysar is talking to Danny in the key bedroom. They agree, obviously. Kaysar is the target and Kevin is just a pawn. So Danny says, don't worry, there's still a power veto. There could still be a backdoor plan. We don't know. Sure, Danny. But, she wants to stay good with Kaysar just in case he does stay this week and win something. And then, she wants to be in his good graces. So Memphis comes in. They all start speculating about what the power veto competition could be. And I don't know why, but for some reason, the house guests are all thinking that this competition is going to involve like hanging from something, like suspension or like aerial stuff. So I don't know if they like saw something in the backyard or maybe they got like fitted for harnesses or something. I don't know. But they all seem to think that that's what it's going to be. So that conversation was kind of cut short because Memphis walked in, but it'll be back. Okay, so then Kaysar checks in with Christmas, and he says, I'm not surprised that I'm nominated. Kind of saw that one coming. So Kaysar asks Christmas, if I get Houseguest choice, can I pick you to play? Or do you not want to, like, expose yourself to save me? He says, I understand if that's the case. I get it. But, what's the dealio? So Christmas says, I want to say yes, but let me just sit on it for a little bit. Come on. Okay, so that should be a huge red flag to Kaysar. I mean, these two are supposed to be getting closer, and she's just like, I don't know if I can help you. So she says she wants to talk to Enzo and see where his head's at. So then Kaysar says, yeah, this nomination is just showing me, this group that we've been thinking is a thing is real. Like, it's crystal clear now, more than ever. All those people that we were thinking are in it. We've got Nicole, Danny, Tyler, Cody, Enzo. What he's not realizing is that Christmas is also in with those people. Oh! Okay, so then Kaysar says the line's been drawn. I need to win the veto because probably like nobody is going to be willing to save me. So Christmas is trying to motivate him, help Kaysar prepare. And I do think that Christmas wants Kaysar to stay because she knows that he's going to be cool with her and he wouldn't put her up in the future. That's going to be a number for her. So I think she wants him to stay, but she would not be able to stick her neck out for him. She feels like he needs to win this veto himself. So she's telling him, like, you have a tendency to freak out during competitions, so you need to find a way to keep yourself calm. Okay, so then I just got to mention a little later, Christmas goes and talks to Enzo, asks him for permission basically to play in the Power Veto competition. She's like, yeah, Kaysar was asking me if I would play for him. And Enzo says, it's up to you. You know, if you want to play, then play. And he tells her, even if you say yes to him, you can just throw the competition. Or if you win it, you can just tell him that you don't want to make waves and you're not going to use it. Okay, so back to Kaysar and Danny. He gets another chance to talk to her. And he starts it off like, I appreciate you trying to keep me off the block. I know you really did try. Oh, she did. And Danny's like, yeah, I feel like Enzo was just trying not to ruffle feathers with the rest of the house. So that's what that is. Got a tickle in my throat. Okay, so I think it's from all the Danny voice. So Kaysar was like, if I do end up staying, we're good. But it's very clear where the lines are drawn at this point. And you know, I'm gonna have to blow up your alliance. Oh my god! What happened to Kaysar saying he was gonna lay low and like just go back into the shadows and try and like fly under the radar? I guess he figures like he's up on the block, so what's he supposed to do now? So he's kind of like going into old school Kaysar mode, and Danny's like, my alliance? What? And Kaysar's like, yeah, whatever that alliance is. So Danny is just like, there was never an alliance. So Kaysar asks, who's in the alliance? Like she's just gonna say. But Danny says, I swear on everything. Like, Janelle misunderstood what I was saying. She's referring to the whole thing that came up when Janelle was like, yeah, Danny asked me to be in alliance with her, Nicole, Tyler, and Cody. And that's how that whole thing was spreading, that those four were working together. So Kaysar was like, okay, well, if there's no alliance, how are all these people just voting the same way every single time? Like, are you telling me that's a coincidence? Come on. So Danny says that's just like the new school way of playing. They all vote together as a house. So Kaysar's like, all right, well, what about Cody and Tyler? What's going on there? Like, obviously those two are working together. Oh my god, there's 666 people in here. So, so he says somebody's in an alliance and somebody's lying about it. So Danny's like, yeah, I mean, clearly Cody and Tyler are close or whatever. And she says, I'm close with some people or whatever. But that said alliance of four people, Nicole, Danny, Tyler, Cody, is not an actual alliance. So to be fair here, no. Those four are not in like an official alliance with just the four of them. But they are in multiple alliances with them and other people involved. So yeah. Okay, so then Kaysar says it's really just not making sense because there's definitely an alliance, there's definitely a voting block, and he feels like there was nothing that he could possibly say to Enzo to have stayed off the block this week. Yeah, you were definitely going up. All right, so Kaysar says he has no idea what's going on with Danny. He doesn't know what alliances she's in, who she's working with, but at the end of the day, he trusts her. You should not. I hope he's just saying this and does not actually trust her. But he says people have drawn the line. Game effing on. So then Danny is talking about how the new school plays with like this mob mentality now. Yeah, that you're a part of and that you're pretty much like running. So Kaysar reiterates, I'm not coming after you. I want to work together moving forward. And Danny says, I know. She has no reason to come after him either. Which is true. She doesn't have a reason to, but she is. So a few minutes later, Kaysar chats with Ian. And Kaysar says, the reality is, if I don't get the veto, I'm going home. And it's crazy because if Kaysar does get the veto, Ian is probably going home. Whoa! Okay, so and Ian doesn't even realize it. So Kaysar says, again, the lines have clearly been drawn. Ian says, you know, there are other options. It doesn't all come down to you winning the power of veto. Other things could happen. And Kaysar's like, oh, really? What? So Ian says if he uses the power of veto, if he wins the power of veto, he might use it, but not necessarily on Kaysar, because that might be like too much of a big move. So he says, I could maybe use it on Kevin and then try and get you a more favorable opponent up on the block. Great. So Kaysar's like, okay, cool, but like, if you're going to go ahead and potentially use the veto on Kevin and go against the HOH's wishes and get a target on your back, why are you going to be so bold and go against the grain to do that and not just like make the big move that will solidify me being safe and not going? So Ian's like, that's a good point there. So he says, I don't want you or Kevin to go. I like both of you, but I can't promise you anything at this point. Okay. So Ian says, I hate that I feel like I can't play with you. He says, I want to, but I feel like the forces are preventing that. Is this Star Wars? Oh my God, Kristen, thank you so much. Amazing. You're amazing. So yes, he says the forces are preventing them from working together, and Kaysar says they sure are. So he says the only way out of this is to give them a good fight. Eventually we're going to have to take a stand and not get steamrolled. And so far we're getting steamrolled. And Ian's like, I know. I'm sorry that I can't promise anything to you. And Kaysar says, it's okay. So just like, as if this wasn't sad enough, let's just like stab the knife in a little bit more. Ian goes and chats with Enzo later, and he tells Enzo, yeah, Kaysar was asking me if I would use the power of veto on him, and like, I'm not going to use the veto. I'm just not going to do it. Oh my God, Ian, stop. Okay, so later, Kaysar talks to Ian in the HOH room, and Kaysar's like, I know you guys are after me. You're all playing a phenomenal game. And honestly, like, if I was you, I would put me up too. So I get it. I get it. So then Enzo's like, well, we haven't talked in a game, and I didn't want to ruffle any feathers, and that's it. Kaysar says he wants to work with Enzo if he stays. So, this was all very generic, but I just wanted to let you guys know they did talk after the nominations. So then Kaysar goes to the lounge to talk to Danny again. She's like working out. And Kaysar says, I just wanted to like touch base with you again. I feel like I might have jumped the gun a bit with the alliance stuff. He's feeling a little bit weird after that conversation that they had earlier. So he's like, I believe what you were saying. I believe you when you say that you weren't in all these alliances. I know I came off really intense, so I just wanted to make sure we're good. And Danny's like, it's okay. Like, I get it. So I'm pretty sure that Kaysar does not believe her, and he still believes that, like, there's all these alliances out there, this big alliance, but he's just cleaning up because he realizes I went a little bit overboard with that. I need to chill out a little bit. Okay. So Enzo spent a lot of the night complaining. He's been doing this, like, this broken record thing over and over again since he won HOH. He's like, this is my HOH. The girls need to stop pushing their agendas on me. He's talking about, like, Day and Danny, because Day is trying to get David up on the block. Danny is also trying to get David up on the block, but she's also pushing that they can't trust Day. And she's, like, really pushing it. So he is not happy with either of them. So he says if these girls want to make a move, then they should start winning competitions. That's it. That's it. Oh, my God. All right. So he's also, I want to say, still planning on backdooring Ian, even if it upsets the girls, if Kaysar wins the power veto. Okay. So for next week, he's thinking, and this is something that we've heard over and over again, he would like to see Christmas win the HOH and target Davon. A lot of people are saying they want Christmas to win because they know that she will put up Day and Bailey. She is down to do that. So it's interesting, though. This could create a division in the Core 4 Alliance because Enzo and Cody both want to see Dayvon go. They don't trust her, and they have a better relationship with Bailey. Nicole and Danny want Bailey to go because they feel like they can work more with Danny, and they feel like Bailey would be really emotional on her own, and they don't want to deal with that. Wow. Okay. So that's going to create a division there. So I also want to say last night, Danny and Cody, man, they've been getting very snippy with each other, and they kind of had like a fight. And it was bad enough that they were both telling Nicole about it today and like, oh, I got in a fight with Cody last night. And Danny's like, it was our first fight. So basically, what you need to know is Danny told Cody some information that she got from Kaysar, basically that like Cody is in this big alliance with like Tyler and like all these people, and Cody was like, oh, I'm gonna confront him about this, I gotta tell him, blah, blah, blah. So Danny was like, you can't do that because Kaysar gives me information that he doesn't give to other people. So if you go and confront him about this, I'm gonna, like, my game's gonna be blown up. He's not gonna trust me anymore. So they were like going back and forth, and they were like, blip, 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 blip. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So they're definitely annoyed with each other. I think Cody is also annoyed because he knows that Danny's going around planting seeds, but he's not going to confront her about that right now. So it's coming out in this frustration, in this argument. So yeah, it wasn't like a full-on fight, but they were definitely like tense and like raising their voices at each other. All right. So anyway, in other news, Kaysar had a late night chat with Day and Bailey in the bathroom area. So he was like, it was a long chat. He was explaining his view on the game, who's working together. He was explaining a lot of game decisions that he made all the way back to week 1 when he decided that he needed to play in the safety competition. So he was also talking about how Cody and Tyler have a big group working together. He says they need to band together against them or else they're just going to get picked off, which is true. And he was also saying he thinks that Janelle is going to be coming back in a battle back competition, which we know is not true. There's not going to be a pre-jury battle back. But anyway, all that aside. So then Bailey's like, you know what, Kaysar, you and Janelle have already done so much damage to my game. What's going on here? Okay, so she says, you know, you guys told people that I was locked in for votes the last few weeks, and, you know, people are saying that I'm wrapped around Janelle's finger, and that's not okay. And you can't be telling people that me and Day are locked in votes. That's messing with our games. So she says, Kevin is our friend too. You guys are both up on the block this week. We like both of you. You can't be telling people that we're locked votes for you because Kevin is going to freak out if that information gets back to him. If he hears that, he would indeed freak out. So Kaysar apologizes. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you in that position. And he's asking Bailey and Day, do you guys want to do something? Like, do you want to make an alliance? They're like, we can't set anything up like that right now. They tell him, we want you to win the veto. So Bailey says she does not want to put herself in a worse position than she's already in right now. She can't stick her neck out like that and like potentially win the veto for him and use it on him. So she says, I'm already associated so deeply with you and Janelle that the other side won't even think about trying to pull me in. But like, we know that Bailey is working with that group, like that side of the house, but like she doesn't realize that they are ready to drop her and Day starting next week. They are ready to cut Dayvon. So Day then brings up the whole David situation from last week. She says, me and David are at odds because apparently in week 2, when you were running around trying to get votes for Nicole, you were saying that I was a lock to keep her and I was flipping votes to get David out. Now, this is the BS story that David and Tyler came up with to cover up for Tyler and Cody. So Kaysar's like, wait a second. I never said that to David. I don't operate that way. Like, there's no way that's true. So then Bailey goes up to the HOH room. Kaysar and Davon continue to talk about the David thing. And eventually it gets to the point where Day says, okay, David told us that he got the information from Cody about me supposedly trying to flip votes, and Cody got it from you. And Kaysar's like, whoa, that is BS. Like, why would I even tell Cody that? Like, there's no way. So he says Cody is trying to burn him. And honestly, Tyler came up with that. But yes, like, there's no love lost there. Cody would love to burn Kaysar as well. So, yeah. Back to Bailey. I told you guys she went up to the HOH room where Cody, Enzo, and Danny were all hanging out. And Davon joined this conversation a little later. But first it was just Bailey with them. And when she gets up there, Cody is like, is Kaysar still down there? Is he still, oh my God, is he still down there? So he is complaining that he can't go to bed yet and go downstairs because Kaysar is still awake down there. So Cody is now Nicole Franzel complaining about Janelle trying to keep him awake and how he just wants to go to bed. Oh my God. Okay. Really, Cody? So Bailey says, she's spilling. She's telling them all about the conversation with Kaysar. She's like, Kaysar's already campaigning. He keeps telling us that we have to go against like powers that be, and we're all just sitting ducks. That is correct. And he told me that you guys were going to put David up against him, and then you changed your minds at the last minute. And, like, all this crazy stuff. Janelle's going to be coming back in the battle back. So, boo! Bailey, what are you doing? Oh, it kills me to watch this. But Bailey says, Kaysar's a great guy. I like him, but he's stressing me out. So they just keep, she keeps spilling Kaysar's theories, Kaysar's view on the house. And then Cody continues to pull a Nicole. He tells this story about how he like threw his bottle into the recycling bin and he made it and he was really excited about it. And Kaysar was in there with him and Kaysar said, you're like the most annoying person or something, like as a joke. And Cody is like, she told me I was the most annoying person. What the hell? Nicole! Okay, so Enzo says, yeah, so after that story, Enzo's like, oh, the power veto competition is going to be how to make Middle Eastern food. What? What the F? Why would he say that? That's so messed up. And no one called him out on it. I'm pretty sure Day was even laughing about it. That's like messed up. Not okay. So let's move on from that. Today, the Power Veto players were picked. We found out that Memphis is hosting, and the players are Enzo, Kaysar, Kevin, and I believe Kevin got Houseguest choice again. He picked David this time. And then the other two players were Tyler and Bailey. Okay, so it just looks like, judging from this lineup, everyone would leave the nominations the same except for Kevin and Kaysar, obviously, because they're up on the block. And also, it's of note that Ian is not playing in this competition, so he can't protect himself here, and he is a potential target this week if the veto is used. And I also want to mention, Day seemed kind of pissed that Kevin picked David as his Houseguest choice. So there's some tension between Kevin and Davon right now. Actually, Kevin and Day and Bay. Okay, so actually, I want to mention too, that stems from, they were talking last night. Of course, Kevin's already freaking out, like, what's Kaysar going to do? Like, is he going to, like, pull some crap and I'm going to be evicted? So he's freaking out already about the votes. And he was, like, asking Day and Bailey if they were going to vote for him to stay or, like, if they would use the veto on him or whatever. And they were kind of being like, I don't know, what? Yeah. So they're not in a great place right now. Okay, so other stuff today. Enzo is continuing to complain that the girls are telling him what to do. And I said it before, he's a broken record at this point. He was telling Tyler, though, he's this close to backdooring Danny or Day this week. That would be wild, okay? I would be here for Danny going up on the block. But this HOH role is really stressing him out. You know why he was so freaking chill during his first season? Because he wasn't winning anything. He was just letting everybody else do the work. And now that pressure is on him, he's just like, I hate this. I never want to be HOH again. So, yeah. In other news, Nicole is still freaking out about Janelle. Janelle's not even in the house anymore. And Nicole is still, whoa! So I guess she was talking about her goodbye message with Tyler. And Tyler told her, you might get some shit about that goodbye message for like 10 years. So now Nicole is freaking out. She's like, that goodbye message wasn't me. Like, that's not how I act. I should have taken the high road, blah, blah, blah. She said, I didn't sleep well after I did that. And I asked Big Brother if I could record another one, but they probably used the first one because that would be good TV and blah, blah, blah. So Kevin and Danny are telling her, it's fine. Janelle called you a bitch and a rat. Like, it's fine. Relax. So I just feel like, and she was going on and on about it, but I just feel like Nicole has been way too comfortable in this game. If she felt more threatened in this game, we wouldn't have to hear about this shit anymore. Like, let's change the conversations up here a little bit, okay? Please. All right. So Kaysar and Bailey were in the bathroom area, and Kaysar was like, I just wanted to finish our conversation from yesterday. She was talking about the one, he was talking about the one from last night where Bailey was getting kind of pissed at Kaysar. So she's like, no, why? That's not a good sign. So Kaysar is like, I just feel bad that you feel like you've been put in a compromising position. You know, I never want you to feel like that. So Kaysar's like, I understand that you don't want to put yourself in harm's way. I get it. But at a certain point, it's not going to be enough to just have good relationships with people. That's not going to keep you from going up on the block, you know? So Kaysar says the other side is just blowing hot air up our asses so that we don't rise up. Yeah, it is true though. So he said, I'm not here to be a sitting duck and just get picked off by a big alliance. So Kaysar is talking about how solid the other side is. And he's saying, you know, that group has a monopoly on all the conversations in the house. They're just going to make you feel bad about talking to people that they don't think you should be talking to. They're afraid that we are going to talk and we're going to compare notes and we're going to figure it all out. So he tells Bailey the whole Janelle thing, like them being weirded out by you because you're close to Janelle, that's just an excuse. You wouldn't have been in with that alliance even if Janelle was never here. He tells her, think about it. So Bailey's like, I'm not stupid. You're being condescending, telling me to think about it. I don't like that. So she tells Kaysar, I've heard all of these points before. You don't have to beat a dead horse. Apparently he does, though, because you're not realizing how much trouble you're in, you and Day. So Bailey's like, you're right. Like, I see some, you know, what's going on here. Does she, though? But she says, Janelle and Kaysar screwed everything up week 1 with their safety suite move. Oh, my God. You're really trying to act like they weren't targets coming into this house. So she says, because of what you guys did, our options are limited now. You know, we don't have a lot of choice in who we can work with and, you know, what we can do. So she also tells Kaysar, you're a bad listener. Damn! She's really frustrated that decisions that he and Janelle made affected her game. And she wishes that they would have asked her and Day what they wanted to do earlier. Didn't they try to make an alliance with you guys, like, really early on, and you were like, no? I get what Bailey is saying to a certain extent, but also, like, she doesn't realize what danger she's in right now. So, anyway, they agree that they're going to talk again after the power veto. They're not getting anywhere with this right now. So, ugh. All right. I don't know if the Power Veto competition started yet. I don't know if you guys, do you have the feeds on right now? Because by the time I was ready to start this, they had not begun yet. Hi. Hello. Hi, Bowie. So I don't know. Everybody's thinking it's going to be like a late competition, so we'll see. But if you guys want to check back, oh, they didn't start yet. Okay, I didn't think so. If you guys want to check back later, hi, we will post the winner in the info for the spoiler. And if it comes back like super late, I'm sorry, but like we are on the East Coast, so I'm not staying up till like 4 in the morning waiting for this. But we will update the winner in the info tomorrow morning if it's super late. But I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching and hanging out. And oh my God, special thanks to all of our super chatters. You guys are amazing. Sydney Valine. Sydney asked, who do you want to win? Like the whole thing? Kaysar? Ian? Even though Ian is breaking my heart right now, but he's in a tough spot. Hi, Lulu. Bowie, please. But yeah, as of right now,
Kaysar.
Yeah, Kaysar, Ian, Bailey, or Day. Those are my picks. Okay. But thank you, Sydney. You're awesome. Anita Starr, thank you so much. Brant Phillips, thank you so much. Jerry Harper, thank you so much. Guys, don't lie in the chat and say that people won when they didn't even do the competition yet. That's not nice. Catherine Keys, thank you so much. Oliver, is it Oliver or Olivier? I can't tell from Olivier Charles, thank you so much. Lauren Sforza, thank you so much. I hope I said your name right. Chris, oh, thanks, Chris. You're so nice. Thank you so much for the support. Andres Lambaria, thank you so much. Callie, thank you so much. Forever Young, thank you so much. And Forever Young asks, what's my favorite move in Big Brother history? Oh my God, I'd have to think about that. I don't know. Oh my God. The first thing that pops into my head is that POV speech. Wasn't it a POV speech when Dr. Will was like, I hate you all, like send me home? But obviously he didn't go home. I don't know. There's a lot of really big moves. I'd have to think about it. I can't think when I'm put on the spot like this, but I will think about that. Yes, so thank you. Also, Jewel Baby, thank you so much. Morris, thank you so much. And Morris says, rest in peace, Jacer, absolutely. And rest in peace, yes, Chadwick Boseman. Oh my God, that was so shocking. And I felt terrible. I feel so bad for his family and his friends and all the fans, really. I mean, he is such an amazing human being, but also I feel like such a huge inspiration to so many people. So yeah, he's gonna be missed. Wakanda forever. Absolutely. Thank you so much again, Morris. Han Bonan? I hope I said that right. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Kristen, is it Gem? Kristen, you are a rock star, an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I can't even believe it.
Floaters,
yeah, I would. Kristen. Thank you. Jazz, thank you so much. You're awesome. Am I missing? Is this from today? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Karenga Anderson. I hope I said that right. Oh, Karenga said, love your mom's recipes. Thank you. Yeah. I do too. They're delicious. Adulting with Imani. Thank you so much. And okay, that's Imani Fields. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Like, I'm loving doing these live chats with you and getting the instant feedback from you guys. It's so fun. I love the energy. So yeah, let's hope for a good POV winner tonight. Who are you guys all rooting for? I would love to see Kaysar win, but I'm also going to be bummed because that could mean that Ian's in trouble. But I'm hoping, what if like Kaysar wins the veto and Danny just keeps pissing Enzo off and Enzo puts up Danny? Like, that would be amazing, right? So, whoo, yeah. Okay, a lot of you guys are saying Kaysar. Let's hope, right? This is a great time to win a competition.
He'll be peaking at the right time.
Yeah. All right. I need to go eat before I pass out. I'm so hungry. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is the Sunday matinee, so it'll be earlier. So I'll see you all then. Oh, I'll see you then. And until then, much love.